Tell you what a gorgeous morning here at Nulan. And that swell actually seems to have subsided a bit, thank God. But I'm going to have to start moving because on Friday coming, apparently there's a big blow coming in again. So aye, it's 6 o'clock, well 6:30 now. I was rafted up on one way with 4 people, and the person on the inside desperately wanted to leave at 6:15. So there's 3 of us circling round about the harbour there, and he decided after we all left that he would sit down and have his breakfast until 6:30. So we just spent 45 minutes circling the harbour because one guy wanted out early and then had his breakfast. But anywho, aye, it's a gorgeous day. Hopefully I might be able to go round Land's End today. Aye, we'll see how it goes. As it happened, I did manage to get out that day. There was somebody going out that had been round quite a few times. So you see him just up there in front. He was in one of these really small kind of beautiful boats. And just on sail he could easily get 7 knots. So I struggled to keep up at times. But we tacked quite a few times just going up to Land's End and getting round the marker buoy. But aye, what a day. From what I understand, it's never this calm. Although, as we were going into it, it did get quite rough going in, and then it's kind of settled down when we were kind of halfway through, and then going back out again, it picked up again. But aye, I mean, what a beautiful day. I wasn't focused too much on the scenery at that point. I was more focused on what I was doing. But aye, absolutely stunning. The guy that I went round with, as I said, it was a very small boat. I mean, he, lying flat out in it, he took up nearly the full boat. There was no cabin or anything like that, so he basically had a tarpaulin over the top of him that night. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was absolutely gorgeous, the wee boat, and apparently it had won races and won awards and things back in the day. It was built in the 1960s. The name of it escapes me just now. But aye, I mean, the guy was very knowledgeable, and I learned a lot off him, so you know, it's another one that I'm really grateful for. And when the wind picked up, that wee boat just took off. I mean, it made mine sit there like an ugly duckling, just kind of floundering about. And I was making kind of 6 knots at the time. And aye, as soon as there was a gusty wind, it just kind of sat down and took off. It's a beautiful wee boat. I think he was going back to Bristol. But I think once we got round Land's End, we kind of went our own ways. Aye, what a gorgeous wee boat. Let's me just run to the west side of Land's End now. It wasn't too bad in fairness. I mean, going in, there was kind of 3+ metre swell. It wasn't too fast though. And then there's this really kind of spiky, confused water all the way through it. But from what I understand, this is about as good as you can get it. I'm coming through here at low tide just now. I left on the lead up to low tide, and we're just at low tide now, so the current should help push me up the west coast, and I should get a few more miles today. That engine was absolutely outstanding. I had to slow it down. I mean, I had the Genoa out and the engine going, just trying to get through this, because some of it was quite heavy. But as I said, I had to furrow the Genoa and slow the engine down, because at one point we were doing 9 knots and I was actually taking off of the top of one wave and slamming down onto another wave. So I thought, you know, I'll just take a bit more time coming through and get through in one piece rather than destroying the boat. But what a beautiful place. Gorgeous weather today as well. Once I got round Land's End, the current was against me for some reason for a couple of hours. I mean, I could really feel it pulling me back. It slowed me right down to about 3.5 knots, especially around this place. But I just kept on pushing on. I wanted to make as much progress as I could, because it actually felt like I was going home rather than just, you know, getting as far as I could. So I just kept on pushing as far as I could. Well, that's me anchored up for tonight. I managed to get as far as Padstow, so I done really well. A lot of miles covered. That last maybe mile coming into Padstow area was absolute madness. Huge undertows and then massive waves. I mean, I came surfing into this bit at 10 knots. I actually had to steer off it just to slow myself down, because I was just planing, and this isn't a planing hull. So anyway, done really well today. I just after Land's End, the weather was good, the sea was good, so I thought I would just push on, see how far I could get. But that's what, 7 o'clock now, so if it had got much later I'd have been struggling to find somewhere for to anchor tonight. So I'll just stop here and I'll crack on again in the morning if the weather's permitting. This here is a cove just before Padstow. I didn't want to go in all the way in there, so I came in here, and it's yet another one of the amazing wee places that, you know, you would never see if you were on the road. And wait till you see this lifeguard station. It's absolutely amazing. There's a wee path coming down the cliffs for them to get in, and then there's an area over there a couple of 100 metres away that they've got buoyed off just to keep clear. And then over that direction, that's the Bristol Channel over there, my next obstacle. So I'm going to do a wee bit of research on that and see where we go from here. Now with this swell, I don't think it's going to be a very sleepy night tonight. Strangely enough, the swell's not supposed to be here, and that wind that's howling down is not supposed to be here either. It's supposed to be a 5-mile-an-hour wind. But anywho, I managed to do nearly 79 miles today. If I manage to do that tomorrow, I'll be the other side of the Bristol Channel in Milford Haven, which would be quite good. But we shall see how it goes, because it's supposed to be a northwesterly wind. So I mean, it's been south the whole time I was in the south coast, but now that I'm wanting the south behind me, it's turned north. It's just, Murphy's Law. Anywho, I'm going to chill out for the night and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Good morning. Well, it's 4:30 and I'm going to head away. This wee cove just outside Padstow, it was supposed to be able to, we were supposed to be able to get in out the swell, as long as you stayed away out of the Coast Guard area. But aye, I mean the swell has been constant. It's quite uncomfortable all night, so aye, I'm glad just to get moving and get away. I woke up every 20 minutes just to check that the anchor wasn't dragging. But aye, let's see how far we go today. I mean, I'd love to get across the Bristol Channel today, but that's another 12-hour day, so we'll see how it goes. At the very least, I want to get ready and staged to go across the channel tomorrow. As I said, we've got bad weather coming in on Thursday night and Friday, so aye, get as far as we can. Well, I've anchored up here at Lundy Island for the day. That's another 45 miles done. I'll tell you what, this is absolutely amazing. I'm definitely going to have to come back here again and actually spend some time exploring. Just at the back of me in there, they've actually got a landing area and there's a path right up the cliffs. So aye, I'm going to have to come back and explore this at some point. But for now, I'm just going to chill out a wee bit for a few hours, get myself ready for the rest of the Bristol Channel, and then tomorrow, all going well, it'll be over to Milford Haven. Good morning. It's not quite daylight yet, it's about 3:30. That's me starting to get ready to move and do the rest of the way across the Bristol Channel. I think I've got about 36 nautical miles between here and Milford Haven, so I'm going to go over nice and early because I need to get feeling things, and I'd like to get laundry done today as well before heading off further tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes, see how far we get. The weather forecast yesterday was quite good for today, although I've not had any internet or phone since I got into Lundy Island, so I'm going to have to check that as soon as I get out past and start getting some signal again. Anyway, we'll see how it goes, see how far I get. It seems like I've got some visitors. Tried calling me over the radio, but I couldn't get back to them for some reason. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. This was the military range safety guys coming out just to let me know to stay on the outside of these markers, because there's an exercise going on today. So let's hope they don't fire too close to me. But he told me to stay on a bearing of 285, so I should be safe at that. And then I can go into Milford Haven after this next buoy. I just got a call back from the range there, and I was asked to change from 285 to 270 heading. Navionics says it's an ordnance dumping ground, but it doesn't say anything about live firing, and the fish finder doesn't say anything at all. It's the worst of not having a decent plotter. I mean, I was literally on the edge of two corner there, or on the edge of the corner. But what it means is I'm going to have to go 2 miles back out and then back down again. So that'll take me an extra hour. But at least it never started raining ordnance on me, which is always a bonus. You know, I've got to say, this is not what I think of when I think of the word haven. It's maybe a haven for big business, but that's about it. I'm kind of shocked. I mean, it's been like this the whole route in. Between this and the military radioing me, tell me to go here and tell me to go there, and I can't go there, and I wonder how it got its name, Milford Haven. I mean, it's probably a really nice place and all that, but first impressions are kind of shocking. It's almost as if I just sailed into a big huge oil refinery with the military lobbing shells on the other side. I think I was actually that tired and overwhelmed by just the sheer amount of industry in there that I actually forgot to record a bit for the night time. But I mean, I got there, and I got back out thankfully. Good morning. I think it's about just after 4, because low tide at the mouth is at 5:30, and it's 7 miles downstream here. Trust me to choose the marina that's the furthest away. But I mean, it's nicer up here, but it's still really industrial. It was quite a shock to the system yesterday, as I said. You know, you come across the Bristol Channel expecting a haven, and it is just all out industry here. But the marina was nice. It done what it needed to do. I got refueled and I got a few bits and pieces, and I finally got an electric pump for the dinghy again, so that means that I can leave the boat whenever I'm at a pontoon or something, which is really good. I spent more than I wanted to as usual, but hey, such is life. I know I'm not looking at the camera just now. I'm kind of trying to negotiate these kind of really tidal mud flats, and we're currently about 300 mil deeper than my centre boards, so I'm having to keep an eye on these channel markers quite a lot. But hoping to get another 40 mile today. I think round to, is it Fishguard? So there's a couple of areas out here that can be kind of dodgy. So like I did with Portland Bill and the Lizard, I'm just going to go further out, and I'm going to miss all the undertows and things, because that kind of stuff will ruin your day fast. So we'll see how far we go. I've not been filming a lot the last couple of days because I've been really pushing, and I mean, I've came from round the other side of Land's End to Milford Haven in about two and a bit days. So I'm pushing it quite hard now. and I'm trying to find these channel markers that seem to have vanished. But aye, let's see how far we can get going. I want to get across Cardigan Bay this week. That'd be my goal. So aye, but I'll tell you what, I forgot just how much I love Wales. You know, it's a really beautiful country, but the people here really make it. I treated myself yesterday and I went and got a bit of takeaway, and you know, I went into a wee restaurant, and on their black shirts they were all wearing the Welsh flag, and I had a chat with them about it, and what a laugh I had at the staff. So aye, people down here really make it, and it's phenomenal. You know, what a difference it makes when you've got some people that are actually, you know, up for a chat and a bit of a laugh. So aye. There's a lot of patches of brown floating foam in this river. I mean, I know it's mud and things, but aye, a lot of brown foam. Maybe it's coming from further down because we're going into low tide just now. You know, there's ships from all over the world in here. I seen one from Panama yesterday. Some of these things take about 10 minutes to go by. I mean, I've heard of luxury yachts and everything, but geez. You could have a floating city on one of them. It'd be like something out of a Mad Max movie. I wondered what that hissing noise was there. That's steam coming out of that thing, whatever it is, maybe a release valve or something. I better slightly steer away from these in case they think I'm going to crash into them. This one here, I thought for a second it was named after that weight loss jag. Look how much that's drawn, how much draft there is in that. It's actually sitting on the bottom, and we're in 12 feet of water just now. It's crazy. I've actually got lifeboats up there that's nearly the size of this thing. I mean, it's really cool to see, but aye, I mean that's a lot of boat. I think I prefer nature to all this kind of industrial scenery. You know that way when you're kind of in a daze a wee bit and you're looking at the bottom of the boat because there's bubbles coming out and it looks like the boat's farting, and then all of a sudden somebody on the deck shouts to stay back for the boat and you get a fright, so you give them the 2-finger salute and they just walk away shaking their head. I don't think that man likes me much. But yes, it was right. I was probably closer to the boat than I should have been, but you know, it's not often you get that close to a boat that size. So it was quite cool looking at it. I mean, I was being very careful and not going to hit it. Not because I was worried about damaging their boat, because I was worried about damaging mine. But aye, the poor guy walked away shaking his head. I don't think he's used to people like me. You know, it's quite an interesting contrast, because when you first come in the mouth of this, it's all kind of old military installations and old kind of castle looking buildings, and it's actually really cool. Well, once you get past the kind of undertows and all the waves and the really heavy water, but you come into this countryside, as I said, with all these military installations and things like that, and it's quite cool. And then all of a sudden you seem to hit a stretch of just 5 miles of heavy industry. Now, excuse me for not looking at the camera just now. I'm trying to navigate past this without bending the boat or bending that. But I woke up to a really cool email this morning from a guy. He's in San Francisco, and from what I understand, he manages people, celebrities and things like that, and he manages their kind of public persona. And he emailed me, and once I got past the whole wow, somebody in America actually watches me thing, I got to reading, you know, some of the tips and advice that he gave me. Some of it was really cool, some of it I'll definitely use. I mean, a lot of it I'll definitely try to do. He was saying things like slow down in my speaking, enunciate. Fair enough, I get that. It'll help people understand me better, and as he said, appeal to a wider audience. I think I've got a pretty cool audience already, but okay, I can do that. And he was saying, you know, narrate, describe my journey, be descriptive, use describing words. Okay. And he referred to that video where I was doing a lot of talking, and he was saying that if I'd have done all that talking in a different way, then it would have been received differently, which was really cool. And he's talking about, you know, kind of cementing my persona, and he said, you know, be more like our David Attenborough fella. I wish. I think I'm less David Attenborough and more mad as a box of frogs, but anyway, there was an awful lot of information in there and insights from somebody across the pond that's trying to get to grips with actually watching me and listening to me. You know, he said that I've got a unique perspective on the world. I'll take that as a compliment, fella, thank you. And thanks for taking the time to contact me, and thanks to everybody actually. You know, the comments I got a comment there yesterday about that big boat that I went past, describing what it was and what it done, and I now understand, because of that, what that boat is. So all these wee bits of information that I'm getting, I'm logging them. So thank you for taking the time. You know, I'm curious by nature, I love to learn. So aye, thank you. And thanks to Mr. San Francisco. As I said, I'm more mad as a box of frogs than building a persona. I think, aye, I'm just me. Kinda, what you see is what you get kind of thing. If you happen to be standing on a big boat up above me and you give me a fright, then you're probably going to get the fingers, or some other expletive. But you do always get the real me. You do always know where you stand with me. And I'd like to hope that I'm loyal to my friends and things like that. And a half decent person. But aye, I mean, wow, somebody from America actually took the time and effort to put all this stuff together for me and contact me with it. So I'm going to read it a few times, and there are a few bits and pieces that I am definitely going to implement. There'll be more Ewan McGregor in my sounding, or Sean Connery. Maybe no, I've not got the depth of voice for that. But aye, I'll definitely slow down my speaking and things like that. It doesn't occur to me sometimes that where I come from, people do speak quite fast, and it can be quite a harsh accent at times. So definitely something to keep in mind. There's actually a lot to keep in mind in the email. So again, aye, thank you all very much for the time and effort you are taking to give me advice and information and things. I really appreciate it. And now back to documenting my journey and being descriptive. That there looks like an old military installation. Okay, I better actually. Yes, I better focus this morning. I'm having one of my more giddy moments. It's maybe all the chemicals in this water, who knows. But I mean, now that we're getting to the mouth, things are opening back out into the countryside. And it is beautiful here. There is a lot of real beautiful places. But aye, as I said, that whole kind of 5 mile stretch was a bit of a shock. One of the things that the guy was saying was be a little bit less raw and unfiltered, and a little bit more refined. I get that, but here's the thing, I'm me, I'm just as my granny used to say, I'm a force of nature, and it is what it is. Well, we're doing quite well considering there's zero wind. I think I've done about 18 miles so far, so probably another 27 to go. But I mean, we came out of here and we've come all the way around here. I don't know if you can see this out here, but there's a lot of wee islands and kind of rocks just under the water there. And there's the boat veering off because I'm not holding the tiller. But aye, I'm going to have to miss that, so I'm going round this wee island and then right up this coast here. So aye, doing pretty well. And I'm going to grab this tiller again before it sends me back. You know, that almost looks like a dragon lying in the water there. But these are the rocks that I was talking about. And just on the other side of them there's some submerged rocks as well. So, aye, easier just to go round about it. And that way it makes it easier for me to go round about the rocks on the other side as well. Aye, kinda grey today, but not too bad. well, I think I'm coming down with a flu. I've got a bit of a temperature and a bit of a raspy throat today, but other than that, let's hope the flu doesn't actually kick in properly, because it could actually be kind of inconvenient for me, because I'm trying to get round Cardigan Bay, or across Cardigan Bay tomorrow, so, and I've heard that it's no pushover. I mean, in bad weather and things, I've heard it can be quite heavy going, so I'd like to be able to focus on that. So if this flu does kind of come in properly, I might be forced to take a couple of painkillers just so that I'm focusing on the sail rather than the flu. This started as me trying to find a wee cove to anchor up, one that I could get phone signal and things in, but it's actually turned into me just going round here for 3 hours trying to take this place in. It's absolutely breathtaking. It is, it's just wow. If I ever get to the stage that I'm wealthy enough to buy a holiday home, this is where I'm buying one. I'm actually kind of speechless with it. I'm absolutely coming back here. Once I get the boat fixed up a bit, I'm coming down here. Well, that's me anchored up just round the corner from Fishguard in this wee bay. It's absolutely magical. Gorgeous day as well. No wind, no swell. I might even get a sleep tonight. Aye, absolutely amazing in this place. Well, turned out to be yet another absolutely gorgeous day. I mean, life just doesn't get any better than this. Aye, absolutely amazing. The only problem is I can't go swimming just now because I'm getting swarmed with the attack of the jellyfish just now. There's hundreds of them. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here before it gets too long. And thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. The channel is growing really well thanks to you all doing that. So thank you. As I said, thank you for watching. Take care and I'll see you next time.